मेरे को पता नहीं है, but
maybe
political
the
parties
definition
कह
of
रहे हैं
development we can take UNDP's index of economic income, or the health indices or the education indices, but I think they are not taking into consideration that. They are maybe just looking at the infrastructure and political development.
Infrastructure is something which is the first factor of development. That is nowhere existent. So I think.
Well, let's come to the state of Nagaland, where we have seen in the last 2013 as well as in 2008 that Congress has been able to get 23 and 24 seats, 21 and 23 seats in the last two elections. But despite that, NPF, which just won 24 and 26 seats respectively in the succeeding years, they were able to form the government. Congress, with a good number of seats with other like-minded parties, they could not form the government. NPF, with they did not have that absolute majority, but with the independents and other regional parties in Nagaland, they could actually form the government there in Nagaland. And this time also Neefu Rio is saying that they will get an absolute majority, but Sonia Gandhi is saying that if Congress is voted to power, the Indo-Naga issue will be sorted out. So how do you read all this?
Indo-Naga issue will not be sorted out, because, and let me put it on record, because the problem is that in Nagaland, until or unless an acceptable solution is a very difficult task, not because of anything else, but because there are so many tribes there and everybody has their own expectations, everybody has their own aspirations. And the point is that their aspirations do not actually match with the aspirations of the peace process. In a larger political term, the peace process was important not because of anything else, but the peace process was important because these people who were fighting with the guns, who came down to the talking table, they wanted to come to the mainstream political process. But remember where Muiva is from? So, that creates an immediate roadblock for him to come to a proper political platform, get votes, get elected as the chief minister of the state. And that is something which prevents the peace process from being successful, because until or unless you get the vision of Greater Nagaland into reality, it's not possible for them to be successful politically, and that I don't think no other state will accept. So that process hangs in the balance.
NPF is also of the opinion that if they are voted to power once again, they will also ensure that this issue is sorted out. Now Sonia Gandhi is saying that is something important. If Congress is voted to power, then only solution is waiting. Why such a statement in time of election?
Well,
when already talks are being held, 70 rounds of talks were held.
Sonia Gandhi, obviously, she wants to cash on to this advanced stages of this peace process which is going on now. And second thing, you have to understand that Congress in Nagaland this time as well, I guess, has perhaps missed the bus in the fact that they have not been able to bring in a face in the party who they can show as a chief ministerial candidate, who they can project as a candidate who matches the stature of Rio. Remember, because Rio has been a chief minister for 10 years, he has grown in stature as a chief minister. And Congress in Nagaland as of now is doesn't have anyone else than SC Jamir, and Jamir has been kept out of the electoral process, the elections, largely because
he was not kept out, but he selfly decided to move around, and in fact he was one person who was in touch with Delhi to tell that this is what is happening. In fact, his brother is the chief of the Nagaland Congress.
True, but the fact is, we have been talking to a lot of insiders inside Nagaland Congress, and the situation is such that in Nagaland, just before the elections, all the 60 MLAs they went to Delhi. They said that we are ready to resign to pave way for interim government, which so when the mood is such in a poll bound state, Congress cannot openly say that no, we cannot support the peace process. Rather, Congress will also like to ride the piggyback of the peace process, and that's what exactly Congress has tried to do. They've kept Jamir out because Jamir, as of now, stands one face of, if we can go on to say, Indian nationalism in Nagaland. I think Sumanta can add on to that, in fact.
No, I think if Jamir's self-imposed exile, see the entire thing for the Congress, the proof will be in the pudding, but Jamir was there, Jamir was there pudding in Nagaland. Problem was that Jamir wanted to have a good life. So, and he knew that a party has come to power. There was a phase in Nagaland politics where his acceptance became low, but he was a figure whose face was known politically.
Right.
You know, as they say, politicians, you know, are politicians. They bounce back. You know, never write off a politician. But the point is, he went to Goa, came back. Now, what has happened is that the politics of the state has changed in terms of its dimensions. Because initially when the peace process started, there was a lot of hoopla. I remember meeting Mr. Muiva in Delhi, you know, okay, it will be done. I mean, they thought it will be done. And that peace process has been going on. There has been no, give me a single, if somebody can give me a single example of where the peace process has gone an inch forward. Where it has gone an inch forward is that, okay, there is a little bit of semblance of stability and peace in the state. But that semblance of peace is a very manufactured semblance. You know, if peace is that either you are an insurgent with an ideology or you become glorified extortionists. So which falls in the paradigms of peace? Is that peace where you have taken off, you are out of insurgency?
Absolutely.
Then that is peace. But if extortion is crime, then that does not fall in the peace process. So obviously these are the factors which has happened in Nagaland, and these are very visible and nobody can solve. I mean, you know, people try to complicate the Nagaland issue. Remember one thing, you cannot complicate the Nagaland issue, because the Nagaland issue stands, you know, is not being solved just because there is one problem, that until or unless the Greater Nagaland happens, it will not be solved, and Greater Nagaland is something which looks like a pipe dream.
Suman, we'll head in for a break. When we come after the break, then we'll discuss more about all the three states.